貴様、なぜ生きている？あの程度でわしが死ぬとでも思ったか。
Alright, we need to have a conversation about Heihachi. At this point, he's going to be the only current member of the Tekken roster to be in Tekken 15. So this is long overdue, but I'm about to look at the survival history, the ridiculous survival history of Heihachi Mishima. Okay, I did a video a while back when the Heihachi trailer dropped for Tekken 8, begging for someone to explain to me how he was still alive. And normally I'm not this petty, but some of y'all were talking real crazy to be as wrong as y'all were. But I don't fault you, because who would have saw the reason why he survived the lava fall coming? But I'll get to that later. We need to discuss this man's apparent immortality. Jinpachi was possessed by a demon. Kazumi, Kazuya, and Jin all have the devil gene. What mineral from Krypton is Heihachi made from? And how did it make him this evil? So to try to revisit this, I'ma try and start at the beginning. Now I get that the love of his life faked her love for him by revealing that she was possessed by the devil and was sent to kill him and their son. Seriously, when you think about it, Kazumi is responsible for all of what this man is about to unleash on the world. This is really her fault. So after he snaps her neck, he tests to see if his son is also possessed by a demon, and he throws him off of a cliff. If he survives, he's evil. If he doesn't, Heihachi's a horrible father, which would be perfect because he's already a horrible son. He trapped his father Jinpachi in chains underneath Hamaru. We'll come back to this location later, and left him there to die. Then he assumed the role of the head of his father's corporation, the Mishima Zaibatsu. And now we arrive at Tekken 1. Without going into gross detail, Heihachi puts the Zaibatsu at stake in a martial arts tournament called the King of Iron Fist. Kazuya, now a grown-ass man, which means Heihachi was proven right by the way, enters the tournament and defeats his father and adopted son. Yes, Heihachi adopted Li Chaolan in Kazuya's absence. Even more wild when you remember that he would eventually create 2 bastard children. So Kazuya gets his revenge by tossing Heihachi off the same cliff that he was thrown off of as a child. Now, let's stop for a moment. Kazuya survived because he has devil powers. Well, that's nothing because Heihachi survived because basically, he's him. Heihachi survived just in time to enter Kazuya's King of Iron Fist Tournament 2. Okay, from now on, I'm just calling it Tekken 2. What am I doing? Anyways, I left out a very important detail. Heihachi, having been thrown off the cliff by Kazuya, climbed back up to the top of the mountain before he got his revenge. There was no reason for him to do this outside of proving how strong he was. He could have easily have just went and found Kazuya himself, but he just had to climb back up the cliff. Anyways, he won the tournament. Then he threw his son into a volcano. That's how you discipline your child, people. Now, about 15 years later, this psycho is searching for the DNA of an ancient alien fighting god named Ogre. He discovers that Kazuya had his son, Jin, prior to his death and agrees to train Jin so that he can lure Ogre and take his DNA. So you can imagine what he does next. Tekken 3. He hosts the tournament, he screws over Paul Phoenix, and allows Jin the chance to kill Ogre for apparently killing his mother. She's also not dead either, by the way, and she's possibly not human, but that's its own conversation entirely. After Jin's win, he's rewarded with a bullet to the face by Heihachi, and guess what this did? It triggered the devil gene in Jin. Jin then slams Heihachi through a building, and of course this has no effect on him, and things just only get crazier from here. So Heihachi soon discovers that a science company named G Corporation discovered the remains of Kazuya. Heihachi, in trying to steal Kazuya's, I guess, what's left of him after the volcano excursion, finds out that Kazuya's actually still alive and wants revenge against him. Now this man has two devils to deal with, so what does he do? Tekken 4. He lures them into the tournament, he kidnaps Jin and takes him to Hamaru, and after losing to Kazuya, he brings Kazuya to Hamaru as well to meet his son. Long story short, a battle ensues in which Jin smacks them both around and he leaves. Just then, a group of Jack 5 robots attacked Hamaru. After a brief team up of father and son, which is amazing by the way, Heihachi is left for dead as the Jack self-destruct, and in the explosion, incompetent spy Raven says this about Heihachi.
Heihachi Mishima. He's dead.
Sure, guy. Turns out not only did he survive the explosion, but it blew him away where he was in a month-long coma and just got up and walked it off. Like, that is insane. He was almost completely unscathed. Now, as much as I almost want to touch on it, I'm going to skip Jinpachi's resurrection because it isn't really important right now. Instead, I'm going to jump ahead to Tekken 7 because nothing of note really happens to him in Tekken 6. So, after fighting the Tekken Force, machines, and nuclear warheads, Heihachi assumes the Mishima Zaibatsu again, and he is paid a visit from an old friend of his wife Kazumi. In a very odd turn of events, it's Akuma from Street Fighter. Now, if you don't know Akuma, this man is almost indestructible in his own right. He's a practitioner of a deadly martial art technique known as the Satsu no Hado, which has completely consumed him, and he possesses a fighting technique known as the Raging Demon. It is basically an auto kill. Only 2 men, up to this point, were known to have survived it, Gen and Goken in Street Fighter. Well, now there's a third as Heihachi survives it as well. Not only does he survive it, it doesn't even knock him down all the way. Yes, Heihachi ate a Raging Demon. And of course he did, because why at this point would anyone think that this man could be killed? Fast forward to the mother of all battles. Heihachi and Kazuya have their final battle. Sure. Heihachi and Kazuya have their final battle in the depths of hell, apparently. In the end of an absolutely amazing battle, by the way, Kazuya defeats Heihachi once and for all, and in a final act of victory, tosses his father off of a cliff. Of course he does. And drops him into a river of lava. And this is where I call BS. Jumping ahead right now, but in Tekken 8 it is revealed that in this battle, when Kazuya tosses Heihachi off of a cliff, that Seiryu, let me try that again, saves Heihachi from the fall at the very last second, preventing him from certain death. Oh, who am I kidding? Let's be honest, even if he fell in the lava, Heihachi would have survived it somehow. But that's not even my issue. This is such an ass pull. How did Seiryu know that they would be fighting here in the first place? How did he know that this was the location? Was he just tracking Heihachi down his entire life? And maybe he was, let's say for argument's sake that he did. How did he know somehow the exact spot that Heihachi was going to land, to the extent that he saved not only him, but himself from touching any lava? Or, me nitpicking, let's go to the most important detail. You mean to tell me that Kazuya throwing Heihachi off the cliff and looking down at Heihachi's carcass falling and never actually seeing the body drop? Speaking of carcass, didn't Kazuya stop this man's heart? Did that get fixed by the Tekken monks too? How is any of this possible? I could have sworn Heihachi was dead before he took the fall. This man stopped his heart, picked him up, threw him off the cliff, stared down at him, and never saw the body hit the lava. He didn't even see anyone swoop in and take Heihachi out of sight. I digress. Anyways, the Tekken monks wanted to erase Heihachi's memories and use him to learn the ultimate Mishima technique for killing demons, apparently. In order to learn this, he had to do the Mishima Star Crusher trial. Okay, I'm not even questioning anything at this point. What is the Mishima Star Trial? Well, they say that there is a meteor that crashes in the exact same spot every 200 years. As luck would have it, that time is now, as Jin and Kazuya are fighting above the earth in a falling rock as we speak. So what does Heihachi decide to do to this rock that's the size of half an NFL stadium? What any sane person would do, he headbutts it. Now this seems absolutely insane to a normal person, but this is Heihachi. Nothing's normal about this man. Not only does he survive it, he gets a boost from it. He learns the ultimate Mishima technique, he gets his hairstyle back somehow, and all of his memories return. At this point, what are we even doing with Heihachi? Like, he straight up can't be killed. Are the writers just sitting up at Bandai Namco and saying what crazier and crazier things can we have happen to him and then make him live through it? Even with the BS of his Tekken 8 return that retroactively ruined the ending to Tekken 7, by the way, and made Kazuya look like a complete moron because I still don't understand how he did not see the body drop, but in any event, Heihachi should have been dead a long time ago. And note, in all of this, I'm glossing over non-canon endings like him almost being killed by Lee Chaolan and the attempted murder of him by Kuma, or Heihachi, Jin, and Kazuya just burning through Earth's atmosphere. Again, these are non-canon, but they might as well be because it wouldn't have killed him in the first place. So my question to you all is this: does Heihachi ever get killed in Tekken? Do you think he will ever permanently be defeated, or will he just forever appear in Tekken games? I personally think at this point, and I hope to God that I'm wrong, but Heihachi is gonna kill Kazuya one of these times. At some point, one of these deaths of the Mishima family is gonna stick, and I don't think it's gonna be his, though it should be. Seriously, outside of Jin and Kazuya teaming up, I don't see how Heihachi will meet his end. Well, I guess unless his daughter does it. But anyways, that is the brief psycho history of Heihachi Mishima's escapes from death. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and you all have a good one, and I'm out.